Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Today I'm going to be doing a very fun tier list based on the new castles. For those who don't know, a while ago, like let's say 3, 4, 5 months ago, something like that, we had a big patch that gave every civilization its own unique castle. This was a huge change for the game, and I personally really love that new change. And today I'm going to be ranking them all from S tier all the way down to D tier. Now, this is of course going to be based on my very objective personal opinion. And I'll be kind of just ranking them based on what I like about the castles and what I think looks nice. And feel free to agree or disagree with me. And with all that said, let's go ahead and hop right in. Obviously, we will be having more serious tier lists coming up soon, but I really wanted to make this one because I thought it was really fun, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. So starting off with the Armenians, I personally really love this castle. For me, this is like an easy A tier, maybe even a bit higher castle. I really like the design of it. I think it looks like super imposing, but also quite nice aesthetically. I think it's a super solid castle for the Armenians. I definitely do enjoy it. Next, we got the Aztecs. This is the classic Mezzo castle. When it comes to this castle, I feel like it's very recognizable. The Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Incas used to have this castle, all three together sharing it. Now, obviously, it's been split. Aztecs kept it. For me, it's a solid B tier castle. It's okay. I've always felt like it's not bad, and it kind of like does remind me of the Aztecs and whatnot. Like it's visually very fitting, but it's not like spectacular. You know, it's just decent. It's just decent. It's the best way to put it. Let me just make my cam a little smaller here. Don't want to be too imposing on the screen. Next up, we got the Bengalis. Ooh, the Bengalis castle. I think that's the original Bengalis as well. It was not really changed in that patch, if I recall correctly. I think it's okay. I'll probably throw it in the C tier, though. It's nothing crazy for me. It does look nice, but it's nothing too crazy. I don't play the Bengalis and I'm like, oh, this cast is amazing. But anyway, it's not a bad one. Next up, we got the Berbers. This is probably the first of the newest ones, and I think it looks okay. I definitely don't mind it. I think it's solid. I'm going to put it in the C tier as well, probably behind the Bengalis. I think the Bengalis one looks a little nicer. I do like the architecture and the design of it. I think there's a lot of nice detail as well. But, I don't know. It's just nothing that crazy to me. Nothing too special. Next up, we have the Bohemians. I've always felt like this was an S tier worthy castle. I really liked the Bohemians castle from basically the launch of the Civ. I think it looks aesthetically so pleasing. And I think it looks very, very imposing as well. Like, it looks absolutely stunning. So definitely an S tier for me on the Bohemians. Next up, we got the classic Britons. I have a bit of a hot take here. Honestly, I think this is the ugliest castle, not in the game, but like of the original ones. There is one castle that I know for sure is D tier, by the way. But I don't know. I never really liked the Britons castle. I'm gonna probably put it like bottom of C tier. It looks okay. It's super classic. It's obviously kind of like what we grew up on. So from like the nostalgia perspective, maybe I should bump it a little bit. But honestly, it's nothing too special to me. Next up, we got the Bulgarians castle. I quite like this one. I think I'm going to put it somewhere in the B tier. Probably, yeah, closer to the top of B tier. I think it looks nice. This is one of the newer ones as well for the Bulgarians. And I think it distinguishes itself from the Krepos nicely, which I do appreciate. So I think the Bulgarian castle is definitely up there for me. Well, not too high up there, but it's definitely like a solid one. Next up, we got the Burgundians. I love this one. Again, similar to like the Bohemians. I really like it on release, but it's not an A tier. It might be, actually. I think it looks really nice. I'll probably put it top of B tier, though. I really like it. I think it's not one of my favorites, but I think it's a really nice one, and I think it's very fitting for the Burgundian civilization as well. Next up, we have the Burmese. I think this one looks spectacular. Like, I think this one looks fantastic. Not that good to the point where it should be like up really high, but I think it was a nice upgrade for the Civ. I can't remember the last one they had, but it was one of the generic ones. But I think it looks nice. I think it's very fitting. I'll probably put it behind the Bulgarians castle, but I think it's a nice upgrade for the Burmese. I think it definitely does look very nice. A lot of detail on it. It's a really nice castle overall. Next up, we have the Byzantines. What do I think of this castle? I think it looks pretty good. I don't know. Something's weird about it. I'm gonna put it top of C tier. Something's weird about it. I can't quite figure out what's weird about it, but it just doesn't look very imposing. I think that's my issue with the Byzantine castle. It doesn't look very imposing. Next up, we have the Celts. They got a huge upgrade. The old Celt castle was this one here. I think the new one is spectacular. I'll probably put it top of A tier, actually. I think it looks really good. For me, the Bohemians is still undisputed #1 at the moment, but Celts definitely got a huge upgrade in how it looks. Next up, we got the Chinese. This is also a really top tier castle, in my opinion. Super, super nice architecture. Looks so clean, and I like the different colors on it as well. So for me, the Chinese one is definitely up there. Next up, we got the Cumans. I think this one is closer to like the C tier. I don't know exactly where I'd put it, but whenever I see this castle, I feel like it's like nothing special. I do think it's a nice upgrade from what it was before, but yeah, I wouldn't go too crazy with it. Maybe I prefer it to the Berbers one though. Yeah, I think right there makes a lot of sense for the Cumans. All right, afterwards we got the Dravidians. This one didn't change. I think it looks decent. I think it looks better than the Aztec one personally. I quite like it. It's like a classic castle structure that I appreciate. Reminds me a little bit of Stronghold Crusader for some reason. I don't know exactly why. It looks like the stone walls of Stronghold Crusader in some ways at least, but I like this one. I think it looks pretty good. Next up, we got the Ethiopians. This one was new, and this one was changed. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put it in C tier. I just want to see it a little bit better. Definitely not D tier. It's definitely not that high either, though. I'll probably put it right behind the Berbers. I think the Berbers one looks slightly better, but they're quite similar in how they look like, at least like color wise. Next up, we have the Franks, and for me, the Franks is an absolute S tier. I absolutely love the new castle. Maybe I'm just a sucker for these pointy things in the design, but I absolutely love the Frank castle. Such a huge upgrade. In the past, they had just the Britons one, which again, for me, is like super bland. But the new one looks absolutely insane, and for me, it's an easy S tier. It just boosts my feeling when I play Franks now to just drop a bunch of castles. And next patch, are going to buff throwing axemen as well, so Franks are going to be a lot of fun to play. Next, we have the Georgians. I never really liked the Georgian castle. I think it looks weird. It's not that it's ugly. It looks like it's, I don't know, like not proportioned correctly. It's a little strange. For me, I'll probably put it ahead of the Ethiopians, but yeah, not much higher. Not really a huge fan of it. I think it has potential. Like, I don't mind the design of it. Like, I like the fact that it's like smaller here and bigger here. But just how it looks like in the game just feels a little strange. And I think it could look a little bit more imposing potentially. Next we got the Goths. The Goths one got a decent upgrade. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do think it looks quite nice, objectively speaking. So I think it's like a solid B tier. Yeah, nothing too crazy about it. Next we got the Gujaras. Where do I put the Gujaras? It's okay. It's okay. A lot of these are just like okay. Yeah, I think the Burmese and the Dravidians one looks nicer, to be honest with you. I even prefer the Goth one. I'd probably put it right here. I probably prefer it to the Aztecs one. It's not bad. Hindustani did not get an upgrade. It's just a standard castle. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I'm going to drop it down to the C tier somewhere. Probably ahead of Cumans, though. Yeah, probably right there. I think that's a decent spot for the Hindustani castle. Next, we got the Huns. I personally do not like the new Huns castle. I think it looks super ugly. It does not look like a castle. It looks more like a wonder than a castle. I'm not going to put a D tier just because the next one up is D tier. The Inca castle is one of the worst looking buildings in the entire game. It looks absolutely horrible. I will never appreciate the look of this building when I'm playing with the Incas because it doesn't look threatening at all. It's not aesthetically pleasing, and I really don't feel like it fits the rest of the architecture of the Incas. Like, they really went out of left field. It looks like a Dark Age building. Like, you know how like an outpost is always like a Dark Age figure? The castle looks like it's a Dark Age building. Or like Feudal Age at most. Really don't like it. I think they got a huge downgrade from what it was initially. And yeah, I think that's like the ugliest castle in the game, to be honest with you. Next, we got the Italians. I think that got changed. No, I think that was the original Italians castle. I quite like this one. I think this one is solid. Not too high, though. It's going to be somewhere around kind of here. I probably prefer it to the Bulgarians, but probably right behind the Burgundians. Yeah, that feels nice. I think it's similar to the Goths, but I think it just looks a little nicer. A little cleaner, maybe. Next we have the OG Japanese. I love it. Maybe I'm a sucker for Asian architecture, but I personally love the Japanese castle. It was one of my favorites. I only have one that I liked more. I liked more from the original game, or Age of Conquerors. But yeah, this one is super nice in my opinion. Definitely, definitely one I appreciate. Next up, we got the Jurchens, and it does feel like I'm a sucker for Asian architecture because I quite like this one as well. It doesn't look that good compared to some of the other ones, but for me, it is definitely solid. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Next we have the Catans. I think this one is the worst of the new civs. Doesn't look like it's a castle, which is my issue with it. Again, it just doesn't look very imposing. But it doesn't look bad. I'll probably throw it bottom of B. Actually, maybe a little lower, to be fair. I feel like I prefer a lot of these ones to the Catan Castle. Yeah, probably right ahead of the Ethiopian one. And now that I'm thinking, I'm going to bump the Britons one over the Ethiopian one. I really don't like the Ethiopian one much. Next we have the Khmer. Khmer didn't change, but I don't mind it. I think it's a decent one. I'll probably just throw it right here without thinking too much, right in the middle of Georgians and Berbers. Yeah, I think it's a solid castle. It looks good. Looks like a castle. I like it. Next up, we have the Koreans. This is one of the biggest winners of the patch. I think the Koreans looks really good. I'll probably throw it like close to the top of 8 here. I think that's one of the nicer buildings in the game at the moment, the Korean castle. Next, we have the Lithuanians. I think they got a decent upgrade. I like the Lithuanian castle. Nothing crazy, but definitely not bad. I'm thinking it's probably somewhere around here. Maybe the Bulgarian one's a little nicer, though. Yeah, probably somewhere around here. Next you have the Magyars. This one is one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. I think it's... I don't know if it's S tier or somewhere in the A tier. I think putting it somewhere here makes it... yeah, makes it look kind of nice. For me, it looks really nice, like a castle. Great color scheme on it. And very fitting for the Magyars gameplay. I don't know why, it just looks... It fits right into what Magyars are trying to do. And I think it looks really, really nice. Next up, we have the Malay Castle. For me, this is probably an S tier one. I think it looks fantastic. I don't even think the picture does it justice. It looks way better in the game, by the way. But the Malay Castle is fantastic. That's one of the best looking castles after the patch. And definitely one that I really enjoy from the Malay there. Definitely an S tier for me. Next, we have the Malians. This one was not changed. It doesn't mean it's bad, though. I think it's a decent one. Probably throw it right here. I think I prefer it to the Dravidian castle, but it's nothing too special. That's pretty good. Next, we have the Mayans. This one is not bad. Definitely above what the Incas are doing. Very fitting for the Meso theme. Like, I know it fits right in with the Meso theme. And I think it looks a little better than the original Aztecs, although, now that I'm looking at it side by side, I'll put it right behind the Aztecs. I think the Aztecs one looks a little cleaner. Yeah, the original Aztec one looks a little cleaner, but the Mayan one's not too bad. Very fitting for the Civ. Next we got the Mongols. I'm not in love with this castle. I've played the Mongols a lot, so I'm not like I'm very familiar with the castle, but I'm not really a huge fan of it. I think it's decent. I'll probably put it right ahead of the Gujaras. I think it's not bad. It definitely looks nice for what the Mongols, you know, for the theme of the Mongols, but it's not the best one on the list. Next we have the Persians. Maybe I'm just not a fan of like the African-based castles, but yeah, I'm just not really feeling this one too much either. I think it's okay. Probably looks a bit better than the Berbers one, so I'll probably put it a bit above the Berbers. I do like the white on it. But yeah, nothing too special there. Next we got the Poles. They were unchanged, but I do like the design. I'm a big fan of the Poles in general, castles-wise. The Civ, not so much, but it is getting buffed quite a lot. Oh, sorry. I'll probably throw it in the B tier. I don't know exactly where, though. Yeah, I think that's actually a decent spot. I'll bump it ahead of the Burmese, though. All right, not bad. Next, we have the Portuguese. I absolutely love the new Portuguese castle. I think it's one of the nicer ones in the game. Probably just throw in the S tier. I think it does belong there. I mean, I really like the white of it, and I think it looks really nice in general. Although, actually, I'm going to drop it to A tier, because I think like the Magyars one looks better now that I'm thinking of it. Yeah, these three are probably better than the Portuguese ones, but it's quite a nice one. Next, we got the Romans. Romans is interesting. I don't mind it. I think it's a decent upgrade to what they had before. But yeah, I'll probably throw it right around here. These three kind of look similar to me, but Bulgarian one stands out a bit more. I think the colors are nicer. And yeah, I should probably throw it actually right behind the Polish one. Next, we have the OG, the Saracen one. I like this one. So I said earlier, some of the African designs I was not really feeling, but I think this one looks a little nicer to me. I think it has a nice Arabian design, and I'll probably throw it in like the bottom of A tier. I think it looks like solid, very recognizable, has a bit of that nostalgia as well. I quite like it. Next, we got the shoe. I like the shoe. I think it's a decent one. Probably top of C tier. I think it looks good, but it's nothing too spectacular, is what I'm thinking with the shoe castle. Also, I'm gonna bump probably Burgundians and Italians up to the A tier here, just to get a bit more space in the B tier. I'm gonna also drop the Huns down to the D tier as well. Really don't like that castle at all. Probably the Ethiopians one as well, just to make some adjustments here. Next we got the Sicilians. I think it's decent, but nothing too special. Probably behind the Berbers though. Actually, probably behind the Khmer. And even the Georgians. And even the Britons. Yeah, I don't really like this one too much, but it's okay. It doesn't look bad. And I still got the Slavs. I think this is one of the nicer ones. It didn't change, but it's still quite nice. Probably top of B is where they'll find themselves. Next we got the Spanish. This one looks phenomenal. I really like the new Spanish. Gonna throw it up in S tier. I think this one looks fantastic. And I don't know. It just looks good. I mean, there's not much more commentary I can say. I like the look of it. Then we got Tatars, and not vibing with this architecture, but I don't really like this one too much. Never really did. Always felt like it was just decent. Does look nice though. Like it's okay. Looks nice for what it's trying to do. All right, there we go. Ooh, and okay, this one is probably my favorite from the OG game. I absolutely love this castle. I think it's S tier for sure. I think it might be the nicest in the game. Maybe Franks overtakes it. Maybe Bohemians overtakes it. I'll put it in third place for now. I think the Teuton Castle, this one is like my favorite castle growing up. I get a lot of really good feelings when I see this. Like nostalgia just kicks in. Absolutely love that castle. Next we got the Turks, kind of similar to like Persians and Berbers and whatnot. Nothing too special. I actually don't think it looks very good at all, now that I'm looking at it again. Yeah, it might be another D tier, honestly. Top of D. Next we got Vietnamese, probably somewhere like top of B or bottom of A. I quite like the look of this one. I think the colors are very unique, very fitting for the Vietnamese as well. I'll put it right there. I think that's nice. Next we got the Vikings. Not a huge fan of this one, but it's not too bad. Probably somewhere like top of C. Makes a lot of sense. Next up we got the Wei. I think the Wei one is very nice. Kind of looks a little like the Shu one, but I think it looks a lot nicer than that. But like it's a similar vibe, I suppose. Probably put it right here above the Italians. And last but not least, we got the Wu. This one's nothing too special. I think probably somewhere B or C. Yeah, not really feeling it. Probably C tier somewhere. Yeah, right here behind the Bengalis. All right, that's going to do it for my castle tier list. I think I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I will end this tier list by saying that I absolutely love that Age of Empires 2 has now a unique castle for every civilization. I personally think that having every civilization feel as unique as possible is an important aspect to this game, and I love that we went away from the regional castle designs into unique castles that every civilization has for itself. So even though the worst ones in the game for me, the ugliest ones, the Incas, Huns, Ethiopians, Turks, I still prefer for these civilizations to have their own unique castle, because I think that that's really good for the game. And we also have some absolute bangers like these top 5 over here: Franks, Bohemians, Teutons, Malay, and Spanish. Alright guys, very opinion-based tier list, but I definitely wanted to get it out there because I think it's really fun to see all the new castle designs and all the new castle layouts. Let me know in the comments if you guys agreed with my takes or not, and let me know if I had any really bad takes. I think that would be fun to see. And yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, like I said, more serious tier lists coming up soon. This one's just a fun one that I definitely wanted to get out there for you guys to enjoy. Take care, and peace.